Welcome back, gamers, to a special episode of the Slow Run Cast. I'm your host, the Iraqi Balboa, joined by my friend and co-host, the Durwinator. And today, we are doing our first ever Slow Run Cast spoiler review / spoiler chat. And it is for none other than arguably GOATY so far, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Boy, am I excited to talk to you about this game. How's it going?
Yeah. This is I think this is gonna be game of the year.
Oh geez.
I'm calling it right now. I called it literally, was it the first time we talked about it? Like, what is it, 3 weeks ago?
Maybe 4 now. It's been out for about a month.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I think I texted you the first thing I texted you, I think, was like, dude, I can tell from the title screen that this is already like
you did
the GOATY game.
Yeah. You did send something like that, like, because I didn't play it for the first week it came out. I think I was a little busy with work, so I only hopped on like about a week after it came out, and you were telling me, leading up to that, like, this feels like something special. We've both since run credits on the game. You just last night, so it's fresh, 12 hours in your brain right now. I ran credits on it the night before, so it's been about what?
Few days, 2 days,
hours, but 2 days, yeah. So, I mean, I think like your original feeling, your gut feeling was right. This game is special. This game is for sure going to be nominated for Game of the Year award. For sure.
Yeah. No questions asked.
My only reservations for saying that this thing is 100% going to win Game of the Year is, well, did anyone think this game is going to win Game of the Year before it came out? Did anyone in their mind think this game was going to be... I know we had a few previews before it came out, about a month or two before it came out, and the people who previewed it were saying, "Ooh, this one feels good, right?"
Mm-hmm.
This one feels
good.
And
I think we have it on record that I said that this is like one of my most anticipated games, like back when, at the start of the year.
I mean, I had it on my radar. I saw it when they first showed trailers for it. I've seen the marketing leading up to it. Like, I was aware of this game before it came out. But if you asked me in January, this is going to win Game of the Year, I would have been like, I wouldn't have guessed. No, I really wouldn't have guessed. That's my reservation for not saying that it's going to win Game of the Year now. I don't know what else is going to come out and blow my mind. Right?
Considering we're not even halfway into the year. We are like about to hit halfway.
Yeah.
And we have this banger.
I mean, this is, I can say with confidence, this is one of my top 10, maybe top 5, maybe if I really thought about it, favorite game of all time. Like, I'm going to say it now. This is a work of art. This is a masterpiece. It is exceptional through and through, from game mechanics to character writing to narrative to world building and design to like graphical
OST,
ability to art style to music and score to sound track and sound effects. Everything about this game is a work of art. And like, I mean, who would have thought 30 people from France, from an indie studio, established by former Ubisoft developers, a Game Pass game, not a full price game, a budget game, was going to blow it out of the water like this? Who would have thought? Like, I mean,
yeah, the fact that it's sold out in like so many different stores, and where people are waiting to like pick up a physical copy. The collector's edition is sold out. They had to re-release like a smaller like merch collection that you can purchase. I think it's sold out now. I didn't double check the website that it was posted on.
Like, yeah, I follow the Babbins on Twitter, and he's always posting it's back up or whatever, just the regular
Just the standard edition of the game.
The standard edition will be sold out so fast. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, okay, so there are 2 endings to this game. 2 narrative endings.
I think we should backtrack a bit more to the first twist.
Okay, yeah, I don't want this to be like a full review of like everything, because we've already talked about everything in our previous episode up to here. I just want to talk narrative with you.
Narrative. Okay.
Did you see that coming?
Which one? The first twist.
Well, the first twist is
the death of someone.
Well,
right.
Okay. You want to go that far back?
Yeah, let's go back far, because I was not expecting it.
Gustav.
Yes,
is what you're talking about.
Yes, yeah. Gustav
gets killed.
By
Renoir.
Yeah, Sephiroth style, basically, right? He had a cane, or is it a sword or cane?
It was the cane sword.
Yeah, it was the cane sword through his chest. Meow's like right in front of him.
That was an insane moment,
dude. Yeah, and everybody's like, "Oh, why is the skill tree locked? Why is the skill tree locked?"
Yeah. I did not see that coming. It felt like Gustav was the main character of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like it was all about him. It was an interesting narrative choice, because it feels like he's the
leader, right? Almost, yeah.
He kind of got joeled. It feels like it's like you start Last of Us Part 2, and then, this is both spoilers for Last of Us Part 2 and for Clair Obscur. So if you haven't played Last of Us Part 2, but you've played Clair Obscur here for the spoiler chat, maybe skip a few seconds ahead. But
come on, we're on the second remaster of Part 2, whatever. Yeah, you've already played it, and there's a TV show out.
So it did feel like Joel's the main character. Oh, he's dead. And with Gustav, like, I was just like, okay, this is some joke here, right? He's
gonna fall over the cliff, and they're gonna find him like later on. No, he disappears.
He disappears and never comes back in the game. And fast forward to the end of the game, where you could keep playing in the open world after you make your decision for the end game. You could roll it, like, creates a save file after you beat the final boss, but without you, like, you're back in the world. I thought he'd show up then. Based on one of the like endings, I was hoping like, he'd show up and he'd be my 6th character, and
because it's so weird that it's only 5 characters when it closerly should be like a team of 3 and 3, right?
A three, yeah. I really thought he was going to come back, and no, he didn't. Like, I loaded the save, and no, Gustav is gone. He is dead. So they immediately obviously replace him with Verso. Which I'm not going to lie, by the end of the game, I had kind of forgotten who Gustav was.
Yeah.
I did kind of forget about Gustav by about maybe the end of Act 2 or whatever.
Because there's so much other stuff that's going on narratively, right?
Yeah. And then the narrative goes in a direction where it's like, he becomes so insignificant. I kind of feel bad, because it's like, he's the main character at the start of the game, and it's like, you're following this guy. Yeah, the skill tree, dude. The skill tree thing killed me.
Yeah.
Like, he had the skill tree. I'm like, wonder what he's like.
Yeah, because Meow also had the lock skills, right? And we knew there was something special with her.
Yeah.
I think that was very clear in the beginning of the game, basically.
This was just clickbait. Just the
It's the fact that they even like thought of this and they like hit it with a hidden skill tree.
Yeah. I kind of wish I could still play with him somehow, like as an end game thing. Like, I wish they brought him back as like a character, just to end game. You could just use him. Yeah, whatever. Like, he's still, because in neither ending that you choose does it really make sense for there to be an end game where you still go back to the world and do stuff. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't. But
yeah, so you continue the plot. I want to ask you. Up until what? Because I felt like we got clickbaited like 4 times with what clickbait's not the right word, but I feel like I thought I was on the final boss 4 different times. So I thought I was on the final boss with the second Renoir fight. Then
you did, hey?
Well, okay. Because I just thought I'm like, this is the real final fight, and the Paintress, you're gonna find out like there's something else going on. I just, in my mind, I'm like, you're not gonna actually fight the Paintress. right?
Oh, really? Okay.
She's some giant lady. I was just like, oh, no. There's going to be like, this is the real fight, and you're going to like find something else out after.
Okay. No, I only got tricked once or baited once to believe that that was the final fight, and that was the Paintress fight. And that's why I messaged you and I was like, I think I'm going to roll credits like really soon here.
Yeah, you said that to me, and I like sped up. So then I got to the Paintress, and then I actually thought this is the final boss fight, and the game is over. Okay. Obviously, that's probably the biggest turn of events is the post-second Renoir fight, because you do fight Renoir earlier on. I feel like after Gustave died and up until you fight Renoir the second time, I honestly didn't really understand what's going on with the plot. There's the Paintress, you keep seeing Renoir, you go fight him in the mansion, then he comes back, and then there's the girl with the white hair that keeps showing herself up to Maëlle, and then you keep hearing the name Alicia, and Verso's the son, and I'm just like, I don't really like understand what's going on. And then I didn't really even understand what was going on after Renoir's fight, but the plot thickened with the curator showing up, and then the curator like helping Maëlle kill Renoir, and then you actually fight the Paintress, and then that's like when the blinds that you had just like come down, and like your mind blows up, and the story goes in directions that I could not have predicted at all.
Yeah.
So it was after that second Paintress fight, and I'm like, oh my God, there's more to this game. And then, I mean, I don't know, like what? So, I mean, there's two families.
Yes.
But there's really one. There's a Paintress. Her name is Celine? Or
Aline.
Aline.
Yes.
She exists in a real world. So this entire world that we're playing in is nothing but a painting in a canvas, in a type of magic realism where this painting has come to life. And the real world is like real Paris in like the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Yeah, it's still a fake Paris, but it's like still, what they know as Paris.
Yeah, it's like a real Paris, except with these elements of magic realism. And there is a family of painters. And this family is Aline as the mother.
Yes.
Renoir as the father. So as the brother, who becomes the playable character.
He's the middle child.
The middle child.
Yes.
And then
Clea is the eldest.
And Alicia is the youngest.
Yes. And they're known as the Desandre family.
This is Desandre family. Yes. And they're a family of painters. But somehow there's like the writers did something to burn their house down.
So what it is that they're the painters and they have special abilities, and they are at war with the writers guild. So it's like almost like a Romeo and Juliet situation, so to speak, like where you have two warring families.
Yeah.
And what has happened is that they had somehow tricked Alicia.
Yeah.
And they were trying to, I guess, get at her or get at the family, and they had set fire to the manor.
To the house.
Yes. Which is the manor that we see that's like half broken up in the first part of the game.
Correct.
So to speak.
And it is the manor that you find Maëlle in the beginning of the game. Where, because you know when you get separated on the beach and you're walking around as Gustave and then as Lune, and you find Maëlle in the manor being protected by the curator.
The curator, yes.
So this family, basically, Verso, the middle brother, dies as a result of this fire, trying to save his sister Alicia. And in the process, Alicia is scarred.
Yes.
And she can no longer talk, and she's missing an eye, and she has severe burn marks on her face. And so Aline, the mother, because she cannot cope with the loss and the suffering, decides to enter the canvas that was painted by her son Verso
when he was a child. Yes.
When he was a child. And it has an imaginary world, which is the world that you play in. And a lot of the characters in the world that you're playing are based on the real things in real Verso's life, like his dogs Noko and Monaco.
They
she
are
named
the
Kid.
Gestrels.
Yes.
SK
SK
is his
is the
doll.
this is teddy bear, yeah, or doll or
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and then like some of the other like the things that the Gestrels are building is like his toys or whatever.
And old Lumiere is just this figment of his imagination of a version of Paris.
Yes.
So Aline inside this world, she's known as the Paintress, and she has that kind of disfigured ashen face, which we'll get to, which is actually an indicator of if someone inside the canvas is actually a real person or a painting. We'll get to that. But she basically repaints her family inside this world and has an alternative family. So she repaints her husband Renoir, who is the Renoir that you interact with on the beach, in the in the
in the manor, like just right
manor,
outside the manor. Yeah.
and as the precursor to the final boss, or so we thought, which was the Paintress. You use the fight before that, who you kill, right? Renoir. She paints her daughter Alicia in the white hair form with the mask to cover her disfiguration that Mayel interacts with several times. And she repaints her lost son Verso.
Yes.
In this world. And so you find out that this story in this world about Verso, the fake Verso, in this version of her story, the Paintress, Verso's alive and he didn't die in the fire, and Alicia is disfigured in the fire, and Verso saved her. When in reality, in the real world, Verso is dead. And the Verso that you see in Lumiere, that you interact with, who's part of your team, who's part of your squad, one of your playable characters, he's not real. He's just the painted version of Verso.
Yes, exactly. And there's a bit of background for that. So the Aline is blaming Verso's death on Alicia.
Yes.
That's why she remains like all disfigured because she
in the painted world, even though
in
she
the
could have
painted
painted her
world.
as a
Yes.
as a better,
Yeah, she didn't like she could have painted her like normal, but obviously she holds some resentment in that. We'll get to it later, but Clea also exists
She does, but you don't interact with her in the main story, I believe.
Yes, she's off like side. She's in like the side story expedition journal stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So you find out that, okay, the Paintress has painted a fake version of her family in this world. But you also find out that her real family is attempting to take her out of this world. Renoir, the real Renoir, her husband, is not the Renoir in this painted version in the canvas. We find out that he is actually the curator himself, going back to the ashen kind of figure. You see, like a person who looks
without
like
the
ashen
face or whatever.
Without the face is an indicator that they're a real person in that world. And in addition, we find out that Mayal is actually Alicia reborn. So Alicia enters the canvas upon direction from her sister Clea in the real world to
destroy the canvas,
to help her father Renoir destroy the canvas and bring back her mother, who's kind of lost in her sorrows in the canvas and obsessed over it and is stuck in there. But when Alicia goes inside the canvas, she's actually gets kind of caught up in the chroma and is recreated as one of the Paintress's paintings. And she's recreated as Mayal, born into a new family, but not disfigured or whatnot. And so that is a reason why the curator was protecting her from what happened on the beach, and why he was supporting her, why he helped her kill the fake Renoir, we found out. And we find out that the Paintress does not want to destroy this world. She is not painting numbers on a monolith and saying these people are going to die. The Paintress is giving a warning to all the living creatures in this canvas that she no longer has the power or chroma year after year to sustain everyone's life, because the curator, or real Renoir, aided by Clea from the outside world, are taking away her chroma. Clea has created something that allows her to not regain her chroma.
Yeah,
which I don't fully understand. Is it the axions?
So the axions are Renoir's ways to hold that chroma as like a placeholder for, or a reserve for the future. So he creates the 4 big axions. Clea, we find out through the journals. So basically, the painted version of Clea exists in that world.
Yeah.
She falls in love with this expeditioner named Simon, and he's part of like.
Too much for me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I didn't know about this.
Yeah. He's part of Expedition Zero, I believe.
Yeah.
Which went to go find the lost people when the fracture occurred, which was caused by, I think, Renoir and Aline fighting over the chroma, which causes the fracture. Yeah, so basically what happens is painted Clea doesn't know about its existence, but then real Clea enters the painting, is able to take over Clea's, or corrupt painted Clea, and then which turn sends like Simon to like go on this quest and get powers to.
Did you get all past all this stuff? Did you do this?
It's all the journals, and I had to do a little bit of reading. It's in the expedition journals. There's like
the ones for each expedition.
On top of that, but there's also hidden ones that like have like Simon.
I read those. I didn't understand anything.
Oh yeah. You have to read in between the lines, but yeah, basically, Simon does get to the paintress, but then instead of the paintress fighting him, the paintress literally tells him the truth, and he goes down to fight Renoir, but he gets killed by Renoir and sealed away or something like that, and he's just like constantly making creatures with the chroma. That's what he's like forced to do.
So basically we find out it's not the paintress that wants to destroy this world, and what she's writing on the monolith is not like, it's warnings to the people that like, you're running out of time, because my family's trying to pull me out of this thing. I can't keep it going, right? And so what happens is all her family members that are trying to prevent the expeditioners from making it to the paintress, aka fake Renoir, painted Renoir, he's actually defending the paintress and defending this world and keeping it alive, when we thought he's the antagonist and he's killing the expeditioners and protecting the paintress from being overthrown. You know what I mean? We thought he's the bad guy because he's killing all the expeditioners. He's stopping them from getting to the paintress because he doesn't want them to kill the paintress. We're thinking because the paintress is the one who's killing everyone. In reality, it's not. It's the paintress that's keeping everyone alive. Because as soon as you kill the paintress, you go back to Lumiere and everybody's celebrating. But then there is a final gommage event that takes everyone out. So the paintress was the one who was stopping Renoir from, or the curator, from outright gommaging everybody in Lumiere, one shot. That's why the clock was ticking down year after year. It was an indicator that she was losing her power and something needed to be done. You inadvertently, unknowingly destroy your own world in that process, thinking you're going for the paintress, and the curator is like helping you to go destroy the paintress.
Yeah, although Verso does know.
Verso is a different story, of course.
Yes.
Verso is fully aware. He's part of the family, and he's always in conflict with his father, fake Renoir, painted Renoir, because it's painted Verso, because he wants to get rid of the whole thing, and he's helping expeditioners make it to the end, when his father's always constantly reprimanding him, telling him, you're going to ruin our family. You're going to ruin our family. You're going to ruin this world.
Because fake or painted Renoir still believes that their immortality is tied to the paintress, obviously.
The paintress, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Verso doesn't want that immortality, it seems, and he doesn't want like all these people to die. But that being said, Verso is not aware that there is a real version of him, and that like he thinks he's real Verso. Like he doesn't know that there is, you know, like it
Yeah, at
becomes
this
clear
point,
that there,
yes.
yeah, it
Yeah, at
becomes
this
clear
point.
that there's the real Verso is dead, and he's just a painting created by the paintress to kind of remember her son. That's why that's why she's like mad at him. She reprimands him. She's like, "Why? Like you're my son. Like I made this whole thing for you anyway, right? Just so I
Mhm.
could like keep living with you." So anyway, the mega gommage happens. Everyone dies. Mayal, now realizing she's the real Alicia, tries to negotiate with her father, Renoir, or the curator, to keep the world, alive now that Aline is out of it and we're not at risk of her losing her mind in the paintress again, in the painting again. To which he obviously said, absolutely not. I'm getting
Yeah.
rid of this whole thing.
Yep.
And that kind of sets up the ending of the game.
Yeah. So, additional context, he's also worried that his daughter is going to go through the same cycle of grief that his wife is going through, and he's scared that he's going to lose his daughter in the same painting, basically.
And the reason why she wants to keep the painting alive is because she's had a life in here. She's not scarred from a fire. She's made friends. She's lived the whole life from like age 0 in here. There's Gustav. There's like Gustav's sister. I can't remember her name. All the people she loved, the expedition. So the idea that this whole world gets erased and she leaves is foreign to her now, because that was the idea she went into the painting for. But because of her experience as Mayal and living a whole second life inside the painting, she's become attached to it. So her father's like, absolutely not. I'm burning this place down. And that sets up the final kind of ending. She realizes that she's a paintress and she's forgotten she's a paintress. So she repaints Loon and Shell, who died as part of the final gommage. And they go around to other expeditioners who are dead in the world and take their chroma to be used as like a kind of weapon to fight off of real Renoir.
So the reason why they do that is because the chroma is all being controlled by Renoir.
By Renoir now.
Yeah, and then they realize that they remember that the dead expeditionists, their chroma is still left over in their remains,
in their bodies. Yeah.
So they manipulate that to create an army to help them fight back against Renoir, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically you go do the final little section of the game where you're back in Lumiere and a different version of Lumiere just before he destroys everything, and you confront him. And that is where the third time I got baited. I'm like, okay, this is kind of really the last boss fight, which technically there's another fight after that.
Yeah,
right?
Technically, yes.
So you defeat Renoir, or the curator, real Renoir, and he basically puts his hands up and he says, okay. And at this point, the Patriots actually comes back in the boss fight to try and aid you to keep the painting alive.
Yeah. I was getting a lot of Power Ranger vibes. I don't know if you felt the same thing, but I was like, damn, here they come. I'm gonna make the Megazord.
yeah. I did. That didn't cross my mind. I'll be honest with you, but
yeah, that's the first thing that crossed my mind. I'm like, oh, here she comes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So basically, real Renoir kind of throws his hands up in the air, and Mayal, or Alicia, keeps reassuring him it's gonna be okay. She has friends here. She loves everyone. And he's like, no, you're gonna lose your brain in here. You're gonna lose your mind in here. He's like, but I've done everything I could do, and kind of leaves with the paintress, right, of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it's come to a conclusion, but then Verso kind of follows him into the rift between the painting and the real world. And here's where we get to the finale. Verso goes up to a little boy, also with an ashen face, who you see multiple times in the game. Sometimes on the main path, sometimes on the beaten path. He says some cryptic stuff. He talks about painting. He doesn't remember anything. Sometimes he says something about my mother. You never really know who he is. He's kind of weird. I always, when I first saw him, I'm like, oh yeah, this is some dude that gommaged and now he's stuck here.
Like just a lost soul, right?
Lost soul. And we see this boy painting in a canvas. And Verso, or Painted Verso, approaches him. He's like, "Aren't you tired of painting?" And then it clicks that the little boy in the game with the ashen face is the kind of the soul of real Verso.
Yes.
As a child, he's the one who originally painted this
Yeah.
canvas.
Yep,
I'm
and he
"Genius,"
holds that form because he was a kid when he drew that painting.
exactly. And it's just like, oh, dude, he's still like, I was right in your face the whole time and never made the connection. And yeah, but Verso obviously is aware. He's like, isn't it time to stop painting? Aren't you tired of painting? And the boy nods and says, yeah, it's time to go home. At which point Mael comes into the rift, says, hey, Verso, what's going on? You shouldn't be alive in here because this is like the rift between reality and fake and whatever. And he's like, mother's gift. And basically it comes down to the final showdown where Verso says it's time to Verso in the last moment takes real Renoir, the curator, who technically isn't his father because his father's fake Renoir, the painted Renoir. He takes his position and says, yeah, it's time
for you to move on.
It's time that this all comes to an end. This is insanity. You need to go back to your life. And he's like, all of us are just grieving, and it just keeps going on and on. And she was like, no, Verso, like, we're going to live a life in this painting and blah, blah, blah. And you're my brother, et cetera, et cetera. Comes down to the final showdown where you get to pick the fight as Mael for one ending, and then Verso is the other ending. Which I picked the Verso ending based on my gut. And you said the Verso ending was also what your gut was telling you to do, but you just chose the Mael one first because it was...
Yeah, because the way that the game is scripted is the first choice is Mael. The second one is Verso, right?
And we played both endings and we just loaded back a save. And you could load back a save just before that decision. So you don't have to do the whole final big boss again. And yeah, you do a standard fight.
Yeah. And you can't lose the fight. You literally cannot lose the fight. At least I don't think so.
I lost the Verso fight. I beat Mael, no problem. The Mael fight, I lost the Verso a few times.
Really? It's opposite. I thought the harder fight was with because I have Mael set up properly.
No, dude, I was getting toasted by Verso. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. Like, Verso had so much health that Mael's attacks I could just heal, like, even though they were harder to parry and stuff.
Yeah.
But Verso was really cooking me. Yeah. And it was doing this weird thing where I think because Mael was dead at the end of the final boss fight, when I start that fight, I was like 1.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So you have to use an item for... Yeah.
So, do you want to discuss the endings? Which ending do you want to discuss first?
I'll let you pick. You pick the right one to begin with. In terms of what I think, yes.
I think after like the plot kind of sat in my gut for a little while, and I realized what's going on, and I realized how all this world is just a painting, and this family suffering, and like the yo, do you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Weird. Oh yeah, and the whole like madness associated with what this painting's done, and the absolute confusion. What Verso was saying really, like, I mean, I kind of was already feeling that by the end of the game. Like, already after I found out what the paintress was actually doing and what the fake Renoir was actually doing and what the curator was trying to do. Like, after, like, obviously I was shocked. That's like, in the beginning, I was like, no, everybody gommaged. Like, no, we were not supposed to kill the paintress. We're supposed to keep her alive. Like, the real bad guys are the curator and everything. But then after that all happened and it kind of sat with me for a bit, I was like, oh, dude, like,
yeah, these people are obsessed and they need to come back to reality.
They need to come back to reality. Especially when you play that segment in the epilogue as Alicia in the actual world and you're like, oh, this is like maddening. Like the madness that's being involved here to this level. Like,
and they have responsibilities too. Like they have to fend off the Writers Guild. They already killed one of your own, right? So that was like one of the big things for Clair to do because she couldn't spend her time in the painting. That's why she
had to go deal with
she had to deal with the Writers Guild, and they needed their head. So Aline is the I guess the president / like ruler or leader for the Painters Association or whatever. So yeah, like there's stuff to do in the world. Like
you can't just live in a painting forever. It's just it's insanity. And so, I mean, as much as I loved the characters, as much as I loved SK, much as I loved Monaco, as much as I loved Loon, and as much as I loved uh, fake Verso himself, because knowing what he was going to do, he was fully aware that he was going to erase himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like Alicia was going to live either way, either as Mael in the painting or as Alicia in real life. It was Verso who was saying goodbye to everything like he loved and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did pick the Verso ending, and you defeat Mael, and it's absolutely the saddest. And I knew it would be the saddest ending, but it's absolutely the saddest ending. Like, it's just heartbreaking. And man, this game made me cry probably 4 independent times. I probably teared up 3 or 4 times in this game. Probably in the beginning, during the first
Oh
homage.
yeah.
After you just meet
that
Sophie,
one hits hard. Yeah.
after you just meet Sophie, and then she's just gone. And then, like, after Gustav has been killed, obviously, right? And then later on in the game, when you find out stuff about like the paintress and the family and all that kind of stuff, and then like that final ending, like, just
Mm-hmm.
soul crushing. Even though I was fully aware, if I picked the Verso ending, I knew what was going to happen. It wasn't a mystery to me, but just the way it was, like the scene, like Mayal gomaging a final
And crying
time.
like in your arms too, right?
Yeah, like I was just, dude, I was whimpering. I was like, I was sobbing, man. My wife was sitting on the couch. She's like, dude, I haven't seen you cry like this ever. I was
not even on your wedding day.
No. I usually don't a happy cry anyway, so I don't understand what happy cry means. It doesn't. There's no signal in my head that works that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I was just devastated, and I knew what was gonna happen. But Mayal finally goes back to being Alicia. She gomages like her real parents out of the world.
Yeah. You see a final scene of Ciel and Luna gomaging,
and then
Monaco
and SK,
and
where he hugs them and he says goodbye to them.
Oh yeah,
and then when he
that
hugs
hurts
them,
hard.
said, like, they like knew exactly what was happening, and they said, "Come on, like we know
Mm-hmm.
now." SK and Monaco, like just being around forever in this world, knew that they were nothing but a figment of imagination, and and then it was just, and then he finally takes the hand of the little boy, and he's like, "Okay, it's time to stop painting," and they just both walk away, and also gomage to Oblivion as well. And then the final scene shows the family of what was they called?
Sendre?
Yeah, at the grave or tombstone, presumably, of Real Verso as a final memorial. You see Aline, you see Clea, you see Renoir, and you see Alicia with her disfigured form. And brutal, dude. Gut punch.
Yeah,
I imagine like a whole 40, 50 hours with these characters, falling in love with each and every single one of them. Not a single character in this game is not absolutely lovable.
Yeah.
Not a single
I think
character.
that was like one of the key things for this game. Like none of the characters I hated.
Yeah, none. Like even the villains, like
they're not villains. They're just
I didn't hate a single character. And the gut punch to like see them all disappear, and like
maybe the mimes. The mimes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not talking about the people you fight. Yeah, those guys get it.
But
yeah, just
absolutely
brutal gut punch. Yeah, but then there's the other ending, the Mayal ending, which also I kind of found out what was going to happen based on like what she was wanting. So it was a little bit more confusing to me because of course she beats Verso. And Verso kind of has a monologue about how
like
he's like, please don't paint me again.
Yeah, please don't do it. Please don't. He's like literally crying and begging her not to do it.
Not to like keep him alive indefinitely in this prison of this painting, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to kind of finally be free. He's like, I've lived long enough. I want to be, free of its like reigns.
Like torment, basically, right? So what happens is
he technically looks like he gomages, like he goes, because I guess he gets killed, right?
He would gomage because if you remember, he would gomage, but then Alicia or Mayal is able to pull on his remnants. to
Yeah.
bring him back, right? And basically mold whatever she wants out of this world.
Wants in this painting, yeah. So
Yeah.
it fast forwards to like a
The opera
hustling and
house.
bustling Lumiere. Everything's been fixed. Everything's been corrected in this world. There's an opera house. You see Loon. You see Shell with her husband, who's passed before the events of this game that she talks about. You see Mael with appears to be a young child. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's Gustav's apprentice.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yes.
And you see Gustav making a return after several hours of disappearance, but he's back now, of course, because it's a painting. At the end of the day, she can make whatever she wants in this painting. And Gustav is back with Sophie.
Yes. They all take their seats.
And you cut to a man, an old man, but seemed like a very old looking man, going to go play piano with a very, very like
somber face.
Yeah, somber on his face. And it is Verso. At first I thought it was Renoir. Like I thought it was gonna be like a happy ending, like Renoir comes to visit his daughter in this world every now and then.
Yeah.
Right? And he like hops in as like just goes
like hey guys.
Hops up.
Yeah.
No, but it's Verso. Or painted Verso. And I guess this was more of an uncanny ending, right? Because you cut to Verso playing piano and he looks at Mael and her face is smearing off similar to the face that Aline had on when she was stuck in the painting for a long time.
Yeah, like the painted eyes. Same with Renoir, yeah.
Renoir had that too when they were stuck in the painting for a long time. So yeah, that's the conclusion of the game. Holy smokes, man. What dude, what a plot. What writing. Like what character development. I mean, is there a better turn-based RPG out there?
I don't think so.
Because if there is, I need to play it. Because if there's a turn-based RPG better than this, like I need to play it right now. Like what a game, man! What a plot! Like, did anyone even see that coming?
I don't think so, right? I mean, minus whoever wrote the story, obviously, but
yeah, what a game, man! I mean, like for whatever the price of this is, I cannot recommend it enough. Whether on Game Pass or PlayStation or PC.
Yeah, $65.
Yeah,
Canadian gets you
arguably
basically
one of the greatest things of all time. Like this is, if you were to make a very objective, I know it's impossible, objective greatest 100 games of all time list, like Clair Obscur Expedition 33 ends up on that list. Any day of the week, I don't care. Like this is a game to remember. I can't think of a game that hit me this hard since like maybe, I don't know, first
Last of Us Part 2, the first scene.
Even like Last of Us Part 2, the plot over there was,
yeah, like Last of Us maybe Part 1 maybe.
Yeah,
that hits hard as well.
Or the original God of War, or I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima. Even then, I don't think those hit as hard.
Yeah, like those. You put the side characters of Ghost of Tsushima to like Clair Obscur. Not quite the same.
It's not quite the same. No. Any other thoughts about the plot, man?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
It was a treat.
It was a turn of events. It was a crazy turn of events there at the end. Like when everything, because I wasn't understanding what was going on, when everything finally made sense.
Mm-hmm. When the curtains fall and
you could see the whole plot like unravel, and you're like, oh my god, that's what this game is really about. And I mean, it was good from start to finish. The pacing was perfect. The game wasn't too long. It didn't outstay its welcome, man. And then the combat was exceptional. The gameplay was exceptional. Like the thing is, this game is good in all regards. There's no like facet where it's weak. Yeah, I can't even think of one.
I have nitpicks. Like small nitpicks. Like overworld. I really hated the overworld in terms of how you would like navigating on SK is kind of cool. I wish they would just have a mini map in the open world. I don't care if you don't have a mini map in like, the stages that you go to, the different portals, because that's what the developer meant it to be like. It's for you to like actually explore. I agree. But the overworld, you have a map. Like you can pull up a map.
You have to
But
always constantly pull up the map to see if you're pointing in the right direction to the
yeah, exactly. That drove me insane. Second part was I glitched out on that map as well.
You did, yeah.
Yeah. So if you so the rocks that you can break as SK, if you decide if you want to go to camp in that certain spot after he breaks the rocks, you get trapped there and you have to reload a save. So that was like my number one nitpick, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no issues with the parry and the dodging. How did you find the skill tree and the stat tree?
I did. I guess going back to your minimap thing, I didn't really like do too much exploring because I mostly ran through the main story, so I wasn't too
Okay.
bothered. But we'll see. I do intend on going back and playing more of the game, like some of the like extra stuff. Um, I understand it's a turn-based RPG, and those usually have a lot of menus and a lot of like stats and a lot of descriptions and a lot of trying to understand what stuff does and how stuff adds up. So I was already kind of knowing what to expect, right? I think it doesn't bog you down too much compared to like other RPGs and stuff like that. Each character has kind of their own unique ability that does specific things. Um, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't. There were some characters that were very hard to understand exactly how they worked or how to maximize them. Um, uh, Mael, I thought was an easy character to understand. Verso was an easy character to understand. Gustav was an easy character to understand earlier on in the game. Loon was, I think, a little bit harder, but then it does make sense. You just the way you add the charges for the specific elements.
Stains, yeah.
Yeah, the stains.
Lune is actually like one of my top picks for a team.
Yeah. I would say Monaco was for sure more
A dark horse.
complicated because his skill tree is not based on points you get. It's based on enemies you defeat. And then he has a lot of skills, and there's
the
wheel. And then I think Shell was probably the hardest one for me to understand.
No, I love Seal.
I don't. It's not that I don't love her. By the way, I fully much do like every single character, and I think they're all well balanced, and I think their abilities are all great. I just had tough time learning how to maximize her capabilities. But I think by the end there's like a damage cap that you have through the whole game until you beat the Paintress. So you could remove the damage cap using a Pictos that you get after you defeat the Paintress and could be used for the final boss, which allows you to hit more than 9,999. But by the end of the game, all of my characters were hitting numbers like that. So I was kind of like the difficulty for any boss or enemy became if I could parry them and dodge them, not if I could hit hard enough to yeah. So some of them were hard to understand. Monaco, I used in the last level when you're in the monolith going up to the Paintress. That's where I would recommend using Monaco for that whole run, because you fight every single type of enemy that you experience in the main story up until that point, and Monaco collects their feet to unlock.
Was just to unlock all their skills.
So I actually have most of Monaco's abilities unlocked, and I unlocked them mostly on that last level. Because you go through every stage in the story. You go through that original forest, you go through that underwater place. You go through the gestural
forest.
Village, and and so having Monaco as part of your squad through that whole run, he
really fills up his skill tree. Yeah,
his skill tree.
Yeah, Monaco is probably my least favorite character to play with, for sure.
I think my go-to was for sure Verso. Like Verso is probably my favorite character. Before Verso, there was a period where it was Mael was my favorite character. But I don't hate any of them. And Monaco, I like Monaco too. Monaco could hit pretty heavy if you know what you're doing with him.
Yeah, and you have to have the right rotation and the right skills.
Yeah. So Monaco I liked, but I loved Loon and I loved I don't know how to pronounce her name. CL or Shell?
Yeah,
or CL?
Shell. Yeah, CL.
I don't know.
Yeah, those were my top two.
Loon and Yeah, the waifu watch. Yeah, waifu watch. I guess we should bring that up.
No, I'd pair. Yeah, I guess I would pair them with Mael. So
I would run Verso Mael and either Loon or Monaco. And then my B team would be Loon and Ciel or Ciel and Monaco.
Interesting. Yeah, my B team is Verso and Monaco.
Yeah, no, I would. I went the other way. Yeah, I mean, I love the combat. I never got bored of a single fight. Some of those fights were really challenging on hard. I played the whole game on hard difficulty. I didn't think it was impossible, but I thought it was just challenging enough that kept me on my toes.
Yeah, those optional side bosses might be a different story though.
I do intend on going back. I really just wanted to run credits on the game with the way the release schedule is looking this year. With Switch 2 around the corner and Doom: The Dark Ages just came out, and probably have to go back and play that. But I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time before Elden Ring Night Rain comes out here next week. And then there's a bunch of games coming out in June, July. I was just really afraid that I would do the thing where I would get lost in the side content and get sidetracked by another release and never actually run credits on the game. So I said I need to
you need to focus on the
down
story first and foremost.
and focus on the story. Yeah. So
yeah. I don't know if I will be going back for the side content because I really need to finish Ghost of Tsushima before Ghost of Yotai comes out. And I don't think I'm close. I still have to finish DLC. I'm stuck in the DLC land until...
What act are you on in the main story?
Act 2. I'm in the second part of the... Yeah, I'm so screwed for that game until I catch up, and then we have months, obviously.
You know what game I realized
we got Mario Kart coming out, right?
You know what game I've accepted I'm screwed on and I'm not gonna play? Death Stranding 2.
Is it Silent Hill? Is it
Silent Hill? No, I'll play Silent Hill eventually.
Yeah, okay.
I'm waiting for nobody to release anything in October and November because they were all pushing their game later on because they thought Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, okay.
October, November. I don't think about it. If you had a game that was planned to release October, November, and Grand Theft Auto was going to come out in October, November, and you chose to push your game back to May next year.
Yeah, are you going to push it forward?
Yeah, you're not going to push it forward again. You're going to speed up your development time. We're going to have an empty October, November. It's going to be horror game fest for me. 2 months, 3 months. It's just going to be craziest Spooktober fest. No, I just accepted that I'm not going to play Death Stranding before Death Stranding 2. There's no time.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even really that worth it, but
Yeah. You already tried that, but yeah, I just don't know. Maybe I still play Death Stranding, maybe I just push it off altogether. Like Death Stranding 2. Just watch a video before. But even then, there's so much games coming out after that.
Yeah. I think I don't know what my next game will be, but I really, really need to focus on Ghost of Tsushima. This is months that I've been playing it now. Slow run.
I mean, just run. Yeah, slow run. Yeah. I mean, just run through the main story, man.
The world is so beautiful. I love exploring it.
I do the main story. I do the character side quests. There's side quests specific to characters, like Sensei Ishikawa and Lady Masako. I would do their character stories. I do all the blue side quests.
With the
legendary.
Yeah, legendaries. Yeah.
And I just do that.
But dude, okay, so here's my issue. I'm going to aim for those things, but then this question marks start showing up on the map.
The fox shows up and you chase the fox down. I mean, I'm just telling you,
dude, it's bad.
I've played the whole game. I've done everything in that game. I have the plot on that game. I'm just
minus the DLC.
Minus the DLC, I'm telling you, if you really want to just focus on the important things and not get distracted, I think the way to go forward is main quest, story, character quests, and the legendary quests. That's it. Just play those. Don't do all those other side quests. Those, come save my father, blah, 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 blah. And then their father's always dead or something like that. Like those freaking brutally depressing. That game is so depressing.
Yeah,
Every side quest you do to help someone, you never actually help them. It's already too late.
Yeah, you just find their dead body and you're just bringing them back. Hey, are you playing is it secretly just Death Stranding, but in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna play Clair Obscur for there's 5 days till Elden Ring Night Rain comes out. When that game comes out, Me and a couple of friends. Like we're just gonna
Yeah,
LAN party.
I need to.
It's gonna
I
be
need to take 5 days to try and catch up. I don't know if I'll hop on the night rain train.
Yeah, we're gonna hop on the Night Rain train, so we're gonna go pretty hard. So that's the thing. I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm not gonna play anything after that comes out, besides that and Mario Kart. So I'm got 5 days. I might as well just play a little bit more Clair Obscur side missions and stuff like that, just to get a full. I do want to get I want 100% this game, man. I'm still happy with what I chose to do. But yeah. Let me read these annoying. I love this. Let me read this. I love playing a game that's like super great. But then you go on Metacritic and there's like people like hating on it. Like freaking the user score for this game is 9.7 with 13,000 people. That's insane. But there'll still be somebody who gives it like a 4. The graphics and gameplay fun, but game slow and also just random story with no message. This is a good
you didn't
game,
play the
not a great
story.
game. This is a good game, not a great game, and certainly not a masterpiece. I sank over 40 hours into it, and I must admit I enjoyed a good deal of it. Sadly, it has problems. The parry evade system is tough, even on easy. The map and menu system are both bothersome. Some of the dialogue is pretty cringe, and I did feel very derivative of the Final Fantasy games, complete with cutesy creatures. So this is literally not true. That is
Yeah, there's
literally not
literally
true.
there's
Zero
one
cringe
cutesy
dialogue in this game.
creature. Yeah,
There's literally
yeah. I
zero
don't think
cringe
there was
dialogue in this
any.
game.
Yeah, there was
I
zero.
don't
There
think
was
so.
not like, hey, call me a they them, please.
There was
Or
no like Final Fantasy cringe either in
yeah,
it.
yeah. There wasn't any like. I mean, I guess there was like the relationship choice, but it was like it implied that they have sex. It's not like they didn't.
But here's the thing: is like this guy keeps complaining. Still, the characters in world, blah 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 blah. Miles better than the slop we've been getting lately. He's basically saying it's a good game. It's not that great, but he's giving it a 4.
Then it wasn't a great game if you're giving it a 4.
Crazy people, man, crazy.
Like, is this a 4 out of 5 that he's implying? But
No,
it's
it's a
clearly
4
out
out
of
of
10.
10. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Haters gonna hate. Was there anything you else wanted to talk about, Clair Obscur?
Any other nitpicks you have?
I Yeah, I don't know. I wish there was some type of tracker that told you if you were missing stuff in a level or
Oh
something
yes,
like
for
that.
the
I wish,
100% that you want to
yeah,
get
I wish
right.
there would be like, oh, you're missing a fight with a optional boss
Mm-hmm.
here, or
So
you're
you can track them
missing,
down a little bit
or you're
easier.
missing a voice recording or something over here, like one of the journals from the expeditioners, or you're
Mm-hmm.
missing something like or like a um I don't know, a vinyl or something. Because if I want to go back and trace that 100%, like I'm like, how am I supposed to find out
You're
which
just
ones am
gonna
I
have to
missing?
do a guide and literally follow
Yeah,
the
and then like
guide.
hopefully I don't go back to places where So I wish there was like a better way of keeping track of that. I'm okay with you not keeping track of that the first time you enter a level. I wish it was like something you could keep track of after you beat a
Yeah,
level.
yeah. Like
Like just so they don't
once you're
spoil it.
exact.
Yeah. So they don't spoil it for you. They don't tell you it's in the level the first time around. Or even if it's an end game thing, they don't tell you it's in the level for the whole game, but you come back at the end of the game
Yeah,
and you
or
know it.
when you start the new game plus or whatever.
Yeah,
Even
or something that just
yeah.
tells
Do you
you.
have to play new game plus for the 100%?
I don't think so. It
Oh,
didn't sound
nice.
like it. Yeah. Yeah. It also seems like a lot of the side stuff was meant for end game because you don't unlock the ability of SK to fly until after
Yeah, there's
the game is
ability
over.
to unlock him
Dive.
some diving too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah. So it would have been annoying to like, thank God, like it would have been annoying to freaking even walk around before you even unlock
Hmm.
SKA to even just walk, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, him walking is still so slow. Like swimming is a lot faster than
It's a lot
him
faster,
walking.
yeah, yeah. But then imagine you're walking without him, like in the beginning. That was really slow.
Oh yeah, that was rough. Yeah,
Yeah,
I took a look at that map and saw how slow it took to walk. And I was like, there must be some like fast travel stuff.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
that would
seriously.
also be really nice. Fast travel as like a little quality of life thing.
I wish you could
Um,
also on the little icons on the map, you get like a check mark, almost like you said. I know people don't like the check marky thing in games, but it would have been like, But at the end of the day, it is kind of a check marky game. It's not like Elden Ring or anything where there's a multitude of possibilities that could have happened based on some dialogue you had, right? It's like no, there's
mhm.
specific collectibles and there's specific enemies you fight, and that's it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I do want to play more, man. I don't know. It's either that or I play Doom: The Dark Ages until.
That doesn't sound enticing.
Honestly, I don't know. Everybody's talking about it. It feels good. I just did not enjoy that first level. Maybe I need to play it some more, but it was not enough that I was like, oh, I can't wait to finish Clair Obscur so I could hop onto it. Or like even more than that to, you know. Or maybe I just play something on the Steam Deck for 5 days.
Let's get lost in an indie game.
Yeah, I've been playing a few. I told you I played Despelote, which was kind of like a slice of life about someone who experienced something like when Ecuador was qualifying for the World Cup in 2002. So it's pretty cool for someone who's like into soccer like me, but at the end of the day, there wasn't really much gameplay to that game. I wouldn't even call it much of a game, but it was a cool vibe. It was like an artistic piece and stuff like that. The trophies were kind of brutal, so I just kind of moved on. And I think I told you I finished the Monument Valley 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm playing Viewfinder right now, which is a game from 2023. It's like a 3D puzzle game where you change the world by like taking pictures or getting photographs and like pasting them in the world, and they like become real in 3D, and you manipulate the world like that. So maybe I just play something like that till, something else comes out. Yeah, Clair Obscur. Any closing thoughts, remarks, feelings?
This OST is gonna win best soundtrack. I don't give a shit.
I want a
best
vinyl for this
soundtrack.
shit. I want a vinyl for this.
Yeah, they don't have one, right? They only have like I think it's on Spotify right now. The soundtrack.
Yeah,
I thought I saw something about it having additional tracks too that wasn't in the game.
There are additional. The Spotify soundtrack is insane. It's huge, dude. They're like different versions of different tracks in it.
Holy! Well, I'll just pull it up here.
It was
I have
like
it
6
on my
hours of soundtracks, right? Yeah, I saw that. It's like different versions of each song.
Like,
unreleased
this
versions.
keeps going.
Yeah,
you can scroll for how long? Oh, and now we're finally at the bottom.
How many hours is it? Can you see?
Dude, it's 8 hours.
Dude, okay.
I'm gonna listen to this.
Does this game win? Is this game considered an indie game?
No, it wouldn't be considered an indie game.
Why not? Is it not an independently developed game? Independently published?
I don't know if it would qualify.
Well, why wouldn't it? If we're talking India as a vibe, then okay. But if we're talking about India as like actually the financial situation that led to it existing, then
it is considered an indie game.
There you go, dude. Yeah.
Damn. So this
game, here's where it's gonna win. It's gonna win best debut indie, best indie game for impact. Sure. Best performance. I mean, can we pause for a second and discuss the people that are in this game?
Yes.
Jennifer English, Shadowheart from Baldur's Gate 3 is Mayal / Alicia.
Yes.
Verso is none other than Clive Rossfield or Ben Starr, right? Who, honestly, his career has just been crazy, blowing up ever since he had that Final Fantasy 16 role, and he was great with Verso. Did you know that Renoir is
Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis?
Yeah,
freaking Gollum. So that's crazy. I don't know how the hell they got him on this, right?
Yeah, he did some interview saying that that role was particularly hard for him too.
Why did he say that?
I think it's just how he had to like get involved in the role or something like that. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I was just like, whoa. And the fact that he was like, I can't believe they got him for an interview for it too. It's like,
yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
So I think they're winning best performance, like whether it's freaking Ben Starr or Jennifer English or him or
Charlie Cox as Gustav, Kirsty Ryder as Lune.
Yeah. Audio design. The audio design was insane on that, especially for the pairing and stuff like that. The windows. The audio design was insane. Yeah. Best score, best music, best art direction, best narrative, best.
Also, a side note, sorry, SK's voice actor Maxence Carzola also did a lot of the screen cap for everybody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they like reused him.
I loved SK. Hello, mes amis. You want a hug?
Kirsty Ryder. She's known for Space Pirates 2007, The Girl Before, and The Sandman. I don't think I've seen any of her stuff.
Bro,
Sorry,
do you know Andy Serkis is 3/4 Iraqi?
I did not know that.
You didn't know that?
I did not.
Yeah, his last name is actually Sarkisian, which is Armenian. He's Armenian Iraqi, I'm pretty sure. At least his dad is. I don't know about his mom. I know his mom's like half Iraqi, half English, but I'm not sure if she's also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, you were saying.
I was saying they're winning everything based on these Game Award categories. Best indie, best debut indie, best game for impact, best performance, best audio design, best score and music, best art direction, best narrative, best game direction, game of the year. What else so far is better than all this? I don't know. Best RPG, they'll win that too.
Yeah, though there's no chance. There's no RPGs coming out this year in particular, right?
Bro, let's just take a second and really think. Is there anything else that's going to beat this, considering GTA is out of the
running for this year?
Yeah.
Do you think GTA was scared of? Just kidding.
I don't think they give a shit about winning any awards.
Yeah, they just want the money. They're in it for the bag. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's take a look at this list. Like,
okay, games that we have release dates for so far: Elden Ring, Night Rain. No, I don't think so. Mario Kart World. I don't think so. Mind's Eye. The Alters. FBC 5.
am I actually reviewing Mind's Eye? I'm like a little bit concerned. I really don't want to play Mind's Eye.
You don't have to. I'm just joking. But you should do it for the. You should do it for the.
For the memes.
For the squad. Death Stranding 2. I just don't think Death Stranding 2 is gonna.
It might have really good performance.
True.
Right. That's also loaded with top tier actors.
That is also true. Death Stranding could maybe take a few things. Mafia: The Old Country. I think I'm going to play that game. I think I'm going to love that game. I don't think it's going to take anything from Clair Obscur.
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be too early.
Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm going to love that game.
That's a remake, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, South of Midnight doesn't deserve any wins either. Like I played it. It's not.
Oh, I think any of the games that have come out so far, I don't think so. Like, I loved Split Fiction. I don't think Split Fiction has anything on this game. I loved Blueprints too. I don't think Blueprints has anything on this game now.
Yeah, Blueprints was also another indie
Hunter.
one, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Monster
Ghost
Hunter,
of Yote is the only one. Ghost of Yote and Death Stranding 2 are the only ones that I think, unless Hell Is Us is a freaking
banger.
And then otherwise, what else is coming out? Metroid Prime 4 this year. Ninja Gaiden 4.
Oh, that might win some stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't see it winning Game of the Year. Same with Metroid Prime 4. Same with Ninja Gaiden 4. Silent Hill F. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is it. But then again, obviously, we didn't think this game was going to be it before it came out. So
hey, maybe Mind's Eye will be really good.
Yeah, I don't think so, brother. I think Mind's Eye is going to be absolutely freaking garbage.
There's a new Persona game, Persona 5: The Phantom X. That one is
freaking mobile gacha game, bro.
Yeah,
that's not like anything.
That was when they released that. I was like, they're just milking the franchise for sure.
So what's better, Clair Obscur's combat or Metaphor ReFantasio's combat?
Oh, Clair Obscur.
What's better, Clair Obscur's story or Metaphor ReFantasio's story?
It's gonna be Clair Obscur. I'm not even done Metaphor ReFantasio.
Music.
I dropped it. Oh, I really didn't like Metaphor ReFantasio's music.
About Persona. I know they're completely different kind of scores, but Persona,
I do like the Persona score though.
Persona 5 score is pretty fun.
It's more upbeat. It's more like happy and like yeah. So they're both really good, but like I think I just like Clair Obscur's score. Like that was the first thing that stood out to me, right?
Yeah, of course.
Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers.
I don't think that one's.
There's that Kirby Star Riders too.
The Sakurai game? Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Gears of War Reloaded? No.
I'm really curious to see what's coming out in October, November. And kind of later on in the summer. August is kind of empty.
Yeah, October looks.
September is full. I think September.
Okay, Directive 80/20 might win something for narrative though, if it's really well done. But it's like at the end of the day, it's kind of like a horror, right? So,
but they haven't won any. That studio hasn't won anything narratively since Until Dawn.
Yeah,
they just like, and none of the games they put out have hit that Until Dawn caliber.
that's true. It does. That's another game that I'm actually like excited for.
Yeah.
Isn't there supposed to be a Jurassic Park Survivors game too? I'm or survival. I'm only asking that because the new Jurassic World movie's coming out,
no,
and
it is,
I'm
there is a game. I kind of had it on my radar too. It was called
Jurassic Park Survival is what it's called. Yeah. I just don't know when we're getting it. It says to be released, to be announced. Hopefully, we see this for the fall. I'm excited to
come out 1.0. Oh, dude, Hollow Knight Silk Song. That could be a hit. Hades 2 1.0. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, closing thoughts, Clair Obscur? I think I've already said this like 3 times.
Game of the year. Game of the year.
Game of the year so far. Game of like my life for like, I don't know. It's for sure top 10. And I'd have to really sit and think about it, but it's probably top 5, and I have to maybe sit and think about it, but it might be my favorite game of all time. What a game. What a game.
Yeah. And the fact that we both got to experience it at like at the same time.
Yeah. What a game. Like spectacular. Spectacular. Cannot emphasize enough how great it was. And if you're not into turn-based games, I mean, you shouldn't be listening to this unless you've already played it. And, you know, you played it to the end because this is a spoiler cast. But if you're not into turn-based games, like, you still got to play it. You still
play it on like story mode or easy mode.
I'm not a turn-based game person. I don't care. It was one of the best combats I've ever freaking experienced in a game.
Yeah, and oh my god, and just building your team so it works like in synergy, satisfying. All right, man. 3 hours, baby. 2 podcasts. Let's do it. We did it.
What was it like? The first one was an hour and a half. This one was
and this is an hour and 15. Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Great stuff. It'll be a quick edit, I'm sure.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us again. If you like this video, please like and share because that'll help with the views and getting it around. And you could follow us at the Spoilercast on Instagram and wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Every week we drop an episode. I don't think we've missed a week since we started, besides like maybe the first week of the year. Sometimes we're a little late. Yeah. Sometimes we're a little late, but we make up for it with another bonus episode every now and then. We've got some fun shows coming up, so keep it May 25th. We've got Switch 2 again coming out here soon, and then Summer Games Fest. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, Switch 2, 10 days. We got it.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us.